I am currently standing in a temple famous for rats. Literally thousands and thousands of rats that have literally been running across my feet like crazy. I can't tell you how scary and weird and unhygienic of an experience this is, but let's just say by the end of this day, I'm going to be doing a full insane body bath. Welcome to the incredible city of Bikaner here in Rajasthan. Good afternoon guys, and welcome to another video here from the beautiful country of India. Today we are in the city of Bikaner and we've just arrived here in the middle of the afternoon, and you might be thinking that's a little bit late. But the truth is, Bikaner is not a very big city. First off, it's not a very big city, and second, there's not as much to do in Bikaner as in other cities in Rajasthan like Jaipur or Jodhpur. This is a city that actually a lot of people tend to skip out on, and I'm gonna figure out today whether it's worth to visit Bikaner or it's a city that is actually very skippable here in Rajasthan. I don't know much about Bikaner. I'm looking forward to learn about the history of Bikaner and comparing it to the other places we visited here in Rajasthan. So with that, let's go ahead, let's get a rickshaw and let's start exploring the incredible city of Bikaner. ठीक है? कितना? 100. हाँ, ठीक है. Thank you. But I have to say, taking a tuk-tuk ride, a rickshaw ride here in India is no joke. It is chaotic. Whether it's Bikaner or Delhi or Jaipur, it is crazy. I think you just saw that. But first off, we have to come and visit this right behind me. This is one of the main structures here in Bikaner, and if you don't visit it, have you even been to Bikaner? This structure right here is the Junagadh Fort, and we're gonna go inside and check it out. Here again, you can see the handprints of the queens that would have put their hands here before being burned in the flames after their husband's death. I know I've seen this multiple times in many forts across Rajasthan, but no matter how many times I see it, it's just so weird as a practice. It's crazy. I just would never imagine anyone would be a part of this, but that's the history of India, that's the history of these forts. It's eerie, it's sad, but you can still see its legacy here at forts across Rajasthan. Now, in order to understand Bikaner and Bikaner Fort, we need to understand again Rajasthan as a concept. We've been to Jaisalmer, we've been to Jodhpur, we've been to Jaipur, and each of these areas were kingdoms that existed, known as the Rajaputna. There were 13 different kingdoms across this part of India, and Bikaner was the seat of one of the kingdoms here. This was the home of the Maharaja of Bikaner, and as we walk around, you'll see all the luxurious items around me used to belong to them. Now, Junagadh Fort was built in the 1400s, many centuries ago. But when the Brits came over, this became part of the British Raj. Bikaner was one of the first sort of kingdoms to give up and sort of be ruled under the British Raj. What's really interesting is that because of that, a lot of the kings of the Maharajas actually worked in the British Army. In fact, one of the most famous Maharajas, or one of the princes here of the Bikaner fortress, worked in the British Army and received medals and was part of the war cabinet inside the actual British cabinet. That's pretty cool, but it shows the interesting history, the reflection between the Maharajas of Rajasthan and of course the British Empire. You can see right there all the different uniforms of the British Raj. Like I mentioned, the colonial past has always been a big part of the Rajasthani kings, and the uniforms here are a perfect example of that. Now, Junagadh Fort is very interesting because it is very outdated in a lot of ways. As you can probably see, it's not the best preserved fort in all of Rajasthan, and that is putting it relatively lightly. Look at the room like this one right behind me. It is not the nicest. However, There have been restoration efforts and conservation efforts. When the British came, they did try and preserve it. They did put a lot of money into investment into fixing up this place. Nonetheless, you can probably tell that after centuries of attempts by the Brits to fix this place up, it hasn't been completely conserved perfectly, and there are still parts of the palace that are slowly winding down as we speak. Something interesting to note about this fort is that unlike other forts we've seen like in Jodhpur or in Jaisalmer, this fort isn't built on a hill. It's not built on any sort of structure, natural structure that's built upwards. It's built at a very flat level because Bikaner is just a very flat city in the middle of the Thar desert. This fort is a bit underwhelming. The carvings aren't as ornate or as intricate, and even the decorations and colors seem faded of an era gone by. I think that has a lot to say about Bikaner's fort, but also about the family itself, the royal family. Having sort of been under the control of the Raj for so long and having been sort of reliant on renovations from the British Empire in order to keep the fortress renovated, it says a lot about the history of this fort. But to be completely honest, compared to the other forts in Jodhpur and in Jaipur, this is just much simpler and much more plain compared to those forts. I think I may have spoken a little too soon, because this is incredible. If I'm correct, I think we are currently in the Hall of Mirrors, and this place is absolutely intricate. It's ornate. It's filled with color and life and vibrancy. And when the sunlight shines through like it is right now, it is absolutely brilliant with all the different colors and light. Okay, maybe this room right here isn't as nice as the previous rooms, but nonetheless it's still made of that same limestone and sand material that defines a lot of the other forts here in Rajasthan. You can see here all the spikes that would have been laid out. Don't think you would like to invade this fort. This was the first thing that you were met with if you were some invading enemy to this fort. Now once Junagadh Fort was actually built, the city of Bikaner slowly developed around the fort itself. From the fort, you can actually see the entire city right below me. It is beautiful, but the fact is, it's not a very massive city. It's not a very big city. It's actually a very small city compared to other cities like Jaipur and Jaisalmer in Rajasthan. But nonetheless, it has its own charm. Now when I said that this palace was very simplistic and not ornate, I think I spoke way too prematurely. Look at this place. The tiles, the colors are absolutely incredible. This would have been the Maharaja's bedroom. It's actually right around the corner and you can see it. But it is so beautiful in here. I can't tell you how beautiful it is. You just have to come here and see it for yourself. The colors are so bright and just vibrant in a way that only Rajasthan could ever produce. And just like that, we have officially made it out of Junagadh Fort, and you can see it is this massive structure right behind me. I have to say, the fort itself is actually quite beautiful. Once you actually visit all the rooms, you see the bedrooms, you see the sort of chamber halls, you see all that. It's actually really intricate, really ornate. It's got so many colors and vibrancy that it can, in a lot of ways, be compared to the forts we've seen in Jodhpur and even in Jaipur. However, the difference here is that in terms of the natural viewpoint and the beauty, the impressiveness of it, it can't compete simply because it's not built over a hill. Like I mentioned, this fort here is one of the unique forts here in Rajasthan, and that it's not built over a natural vantage point over a town. This fort was first built, and then the town of Bikaner grew out of the fort. Whereas in other places, it tended to be the other way around. They would first build the fort over a defensive hill for a fortification purpose. But in this case, the town grew out from the fort. It is very interesting, the history is nice, and Junagadh Fort is a really great way to sort of understand the Maharajas of this part of this kingdom of Rajasthan, and especially since the base was here in Bikaner, this is the best place to sort of understand it. It is absolutely impressive, but you can have your pick of the litter here in Rajasthan, and that's what's incredible about this part of India. For some reason, I doubt that is the real Ben and Jerry. Perhaps it's the spelling, perhaps it's the fact that it's a streetcar here in India, and I don't think you're getting the real thing yet. Now right across from Junagadh Fort is this beautiful body of water that reflects the town of Bikaner right behind me. This is Sur Sagar. It was built by the Maharaja, it was ordered to be built by the Maharaja Sur Singh when there was a massive drought in Bikaner. Now remember, Bikaner is still, just like Jaisalmer, literally in the middle of a desert. There is no water irrigation, there is no natural lake. So this is a completely artificial, man-made lake in order to ensure that there was drinking water for the people of Bikaner. Because remember, Bikaner grew out from the fort. So as more people grew and more people moved to Bikaner and houses and families were established, more people required drinking water, which is why this was built. Now, sometimes you'll come here and you can see how low the water level actually is. I mean, you can see it's not actually very high. That's simply because we're literally in the middle of the desert, and it's only water because in the last few days and even just this afternoon, it's been raining a little bit. What hurts me the most is that by seeing this lake, you can see also all the trash. Literally so much trash that has been piled up here. Fortunately, the people here in Bikaner have not taken very good care of the lake. They haven't taken care of this beautiful, beautiful reservoir that for many centuries served as a drinking water point for many people here in Bikaner. If they did a better job, this might be a much better place, but for now, with all the trash here, it doesn't really smell the best, but that is like a lot of the places here in India, unfortunately. Now about 45 minutes outside of Bikaner is something that is one of the legendary places here in all of India. We are in a little town called Deshnok. It's not the most interesting town, but there is something here that is very, very fascinating. If you've probably heard about India, you've probably heard about the Rat Temple. Here in Deshnok is the Karni Mata Temple, a temple dedicated to the goddess Karni Mata, and inside are apparently rats that are treated as almost holy patrons of the goddess Karni Mata. We're gonna go ahead and slowly walk in right now, but it is quite an interesting vibe, and I don't think I've seen anything like this before. So this is the first rat temple and the most famous rat temple in all of India. I think we've seen the first sign of the rats here at Karni Mata. Not really sure how hygienic this place is, but they are starting to crowd around and be all over the place. I've just taken off my shoes and socks to go into the rat temple. Not sure how hygienic it is to go barefoot into a temple full of rats, but if that's the way it's done here in India, you gotta risk it. I'm really not sure how comfortable I am with the fact that rats are literally right next to my feet. But if you've got any open cuts on your feet, this is not the place you want to be. You can literally hear the squeals of the mice over there. Not sure what is going on here, but this is definitely something I'm not very comfortable with. Hello. Hello. Oh my god, these rats are literally everywhere. They just ran into me. Oh my goodness. They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. Oh Jesus. I have done a lot of scary things in my life, but for some reason, being in a temple filled with rats is the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. I have to say, now that we're finally out of the temple, I feel safe enough to talk about this temple for a second. Because literally, when you are in there, you have no idea which rats or how many rats will come at you at any one given moment. Now, this Karni Mata temple is very unique. There is no temple like it in the world. You're never going to see so many rats in one place in one temple. Now this temple is unique because the rats have just been there and then they've been sort of patronized by the local people who are taking care of them. You can literally see all the food that they set out for the rats. They're seen as a sign of like the holy sort of fortitude of the god which is responsible for this temple, Karni Mata. Now we were just talking to the guy who was in charge of taking care of our shoes. He just said that there are over 30,000 rats in there. Imagine 30,000 rats in one place. That's like Ratatouille but taken over by rats. It's so many rats in there. And the thing is that when you come here, the one rat you're trying to look for is the white rat. If you see the white rat, that's a good sign, it's good luck. That means you're gonna have good fortune. And I actually saw the white rat. Unfortunately, I literally switched off my camera right before I saw the white rat, but that is a good sign for me. That means I've seen the white rat, I have good fortune coming my way. Now, one of the best things to do is that when you come here, come during the evening time. One of the locals were just telling us that the rats usually come out during the evening or the nighttime. That's when they're the most active. Whereas if you come during the day, the rats are sleeping, you're not gonna see anything, and you probably might not see the white rat, which is supposed to give you good fortune and be a sign of good luck. So with that, a very interesting experience. I'm gonna be scrubbing myself head to toe tonight, making sure that I have not a single piece of bacteria on me from these rats. It is such an interesting and weird and uncomfortable but funny experience at the end of the day, seeing so many rats in one place. But it is only 45 minutes outside of Bikaner and definitely well worth a visit if you're in town anyways. Welcome back to the streets of Bikaner. As you can see, the hustle and bustle is right around me. It's just a 30-minute ride after the Karni Mata temple. We're back in the city, and this is when the city comes alive. In the evening time here in Bikaner, people come out because it's much cooler. It's no longer during the sunny day, and it means that everything is open and alive. We're gonna walk around the center of the city. To be honest, I don't know what more there is to actually do around here in Bikaner. So we're gonna see, we're gonna explore, and we're gonna see what the city has to offer here during the nighttime. There's literally a train junction right in the middle of it, and this guy almost got run over by the train if he was just a few seconds late. But this is what trains are like in India. We'll take one later on this trip, but we're just not on one right now. Welcome to Kota Gate. This is one of the most famous and most important places in Bikaner. It also is one of the busiest places. Look at all that traffic right behind me. The gate we're talking about is right here, and right in front of the gate is a series of markets that at night turn into one of the most lively places in Bikaner. Now during the day, it's also quite busy. You can come and shop, you can buy things, you can buy food, you can buy clothes, you can buy anything that you're looking for. But at night, it gets even busier than normal, and it's one of those main junction points, one of those main meeting points here in the city of Bikaner. You can see the traffic flowing by so quickly around me. It's almost like a dangerous traffic hazard, but that's the way it's done in India. And you can see even at night, the gate looks as magnificent as it always does during the day. I've just learned something interesting here in India. This stack of books here is a stack of notebooks, but they're not just any stack of notebooks. Here in India, they use these books for business accounts only. They're called Bikaner, I think that's how you say it. Bikaner is the correct pronunciation. But if you look inside, you can see it's just empty pages, but each one you'll put down like sort of the receipt number, the amount, the sort of transaction that takes place. That's how you do business here in India, and if you want to have one, this is the place in Bikaner that you should be able to get one of these books. Just one street down from Kota Gate, suddenly we emerge into this massive bazaar of a market. It's a massive fruit and vegetable market, and it is fruit galore. They've got all different types of fruits and vegetables, and even at 8 p.m. in the evening, so many people are here buying fruits, buying vegetables, buying the things they need in order to make dinner. It is incredible how busy this place is even at 8 p.m. I'm actually curious at what time they close. considering they're still open and full swing at 8 o'clock at night. But that's the vibrance of India. That's the fact that no matter what time of day it is, India is vibrant, it's lively, and you get culture that is so hectic and so busy like what we're seeing right now. But these fruit vendors, they are hardworking people. They are still selling your things, and they are going to be open pretty late into the night. Mosby, how? Mosby. ये क्या है? Mango है, आम?
Mango.
Ah,
That's a
आम है.
mango.
Wow.
Mango.
It's got a nice little mango here. A nice mango. आम मीठा है. धन्यवाद भाई साहब. With that, I think I'm going to end our video from Bikaner right here in front of Kota Gate. As you can probably tell, today we've explored Bikaner, and Bikaner is not the most touristy city to visit. There's not so many attractions that are worth visiting. But if you want to get a sense of what real India is like, this is the place to be. The markets right behind me in Kota Gate are incredible to get a glimpse into the life and the culture of India. Getting a feel for what average people live in here in Bikaner. That's why you come here. Yes, there's a very nice fort. Yes, it's cool to go see the Karni temple. Those are all things that are very unique to Bikaner that are worth visiting. But just seeing the average daily life of an Indian here is very, very worthwhile to come to Bikaner for. Now there are more things to see in Bikaner. They have Havelis here in the old town that are worth visiting. But today we've already seen so many Havelis in Jaisalmer that I wanted to show the unique things like the Karni temple and the people who live here, the markets behind there. That is what average Indian life is all about. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right here in the city of Bikaner. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos. I got a lot more videos coming from here from India, so make sure to stay tuned, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys.